Hello, good evening. Well, good evening GMT. Um, my name's Joseph. I am shooting a video on a fountain pen that I'm using right now. Actually, in my journaling world. Um, there's a story behind this pen. Now, this pen I bought a while ago because I had heard so many good things about it. This pen is a Kaweco, which is the proper way to say it, apparently. Spelt Kaweco. Um, I guess that's how a British / American person would pronounce it. Phonetically, that was the word I was looking for. Phonetically, it's spelt Kaweco. Kaweco. But yes, Kaweco. This is a Kaweco Sport fountain pen. This falls into the category of pocket pens. And when this pen, as you can see, is posted, it is in fact more or less a full-size pen. When you take the cap off and close it, it closes up into a nice small little pen that fits in your pocket. Now, I know some people who are probably not into the hobby as much are thinking, well, aren't all pens pocket pens? Because pretty much any pen will fit in your pocket unless it's grossly oversized. Well, okay, yeah, you could argue that, I suppose. With the value of some pens, I would not want to be just carrying them in my pocket. But I guess these are specifically engineered for that practicality, for that convenience. Personally, myself, I'm not a huge fan of screw type pens. This is a screw type. It opens, it doesn't take many turns to open. So if I hold the label here, it comes off in about 1¼ turns, which isn't too bad. You know, some pens, they have like really deep threads and they take like, 2 or 3 turns before they come off, which if you're just whipping your pen out to like sign something quickly, it can almost seem like a bit of a, hassle doing it. But yeah, no, for it being a pocket pen and for it being like 20 quid, which is I think about $30 maybe, but that's only for these because the black and white ones are compatible with the metallic nibs. But I've just got a standard nib in here, and the story I mentioned behind this earlier was that I bought this originally with a medium nib, and I wanted to like it because I had heard so many great things about the Kaweco Sport. I wanted to find something I liked about it, and I felt like I had a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, really, because I really didn't like it. And I even took the life of the poor medium nib, rest in peace. I took it into my own hands and butchered the living crap out of it, for want of a more crude term. Yeah, so I was watching these videos of people who, they grind their nibs very gently. They use mylar paper, which I have got now. Little disclaimer, I will explain how you do it. I cannot and will not accept any responsibility you do with your pen. It's your pen, you do with it what you want, but I hold no responsibility for what you do with your pens. That out of the way. This is mylar paper, and what you would do, this is actually a very, very, very fine abrasive, and written on the back here, it looks backwards on the screen, is 0.3 millimeters, which is 0.3 of a millimeter. I believe that's 3,000 microns per millimeter. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think that is what that means. There are 3,000 microns per millimeter in this paper, and the microns are what grind your nib. And I was watching the videos of people using this mylar paper, and I thought, well, oh, I don't think it's here now. I don't have mylar paper. No, it's not here. But I do have a nail file. And some people now, this is people who are in the fountain pen community are going to be watching this, and it's going to be like nails on a chalkboard. You're going to be like, oh my gosh. I really hope that the fountain pen community doesn't disown me for this, but I ground the crap out of that thing. Trying to get it to write the way I wanted it to. It didn't look like I was doing much to the nib. I learned later that it's not really a visible difference. And usually if it is, if you can see a difference, you've most probably gone too far with it. So, yeah, that poor nib. I still have it in my pen case. I am going to order some micro mesh. That's the one. I mix up mylar and micro mesh sometimes, which is slightly worrying. But micro mesh is actually a little bit more of an abrasive. It's a little bit rougher, and it's actually supposed to fix a nib that is broken. Now, not a nib that is not aligned properly. That is a separate issue. But that sort of comes, you know, I won't go into that now because there's plenty of better videos out there that cover that in much greater detail. Check out the Pen Habit. The gentleman has got a very good video on that. That, like, he's got this microscopic camera and you can like really look close, you know, and he shows you the tines in great detail and all. But that is something separate for another time. But I am hoping somehow that when I get hold of some micro mesh, I could maybe perhaps somehow give it the kiss of life. I'm not holding out too much hope because I'm pretty sure I've butchered that nib. I felt like Scarface when I realised that what I was doing was way too much. So, yeah. But I've put a fine nib on there now just to bring some closure to that story. I bought a separate fine nib, just one that you just you pull the nib and the feed out. There is a way to do it. Don't grip it there or on the tip because you don't want to damage that. You just gently grip. Well, I say gently, you have got to give it a bit of a tug, and I actually had quite a bit of trouble getting it out of the sleeve that it came in. But anyway, I replaced it. I've now got a fine nib. I have done some tuning on this one with mylar paper. Only very fine tuning. Just another disclaimer here. Any tuning of any kind of nib will void your warranty on your pen. So just be aware of that because it is counted as modifying, and if you go too far with your nib and you can't get it to write anymore, or it doesn't write the way you want it to, that is on your own back, and manufacturers will not issue a refund or a replacement. So you are doing that at your own risk, so just be aware of that. But yeah, I've put a fine nib on here. I've tuned it ever so slightly, so it is a little bit smoother now, and I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy. I'm actually looking to get my next one in the ice blue, which is transparent with like a really nice deep ocean blue. It's really nice. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care.